The shuttle pierced the violet clouds of Virelia 9, a planet where night dominated day and the sky shimmered with bioluminescent clouds. Lieutenant Derek Rylan gripped the armrests as the craft descended toward the capital city, a sprawling metropolis of black spires and glowing veins of energy that pulsed across the alien skyline. He had been assigned as a diplomatic envoy for the United Earth Council, sent to negotiate peace with the Valkyrie, a species of alien vampires renowned for their strength, intellect, and centuries-long lifespans. Humans rarely interacted with them without a bodyguard squad, and those who did were often remembered in history for bravery or for their disappearance. Derek's mission was straightforward: deliver gifts, observe cultural protocols, and avoid offending the royal family. That was the plan. That was the expectation. Until he entered the throne hall. Beginning, the unexpected declaration. The throne hall of the Valkyrie Palace was unlike anything Derek had ever seen. The walls pulsed faintly with crimson energy, each pulse echoing like a heartbeat across the obsidian floor. Floating platforms carried the court attendants, and towering statues of past rulers lined the chamber, their eyes glowing with what Derek assumed was energy residue or perhaps something more arcane. At the center sat Princess Lysera, heir to the Valkyrie throne. She was breathtaking, tall, elegant, her alabaster skin almost luminescent in the dim light, and eyes that burned with ruby intensity. Two delicate wings, black and semi-transparent, unfurled slightly behind her shoulders. Her presence demanded attention. It was impossible not to feel the weight of centuries-old authority and allure. Derek took a deep breath, bowing as protocol dictated. He had practiced his greeting endlessly in the shuttle, but none of his rehearsals prepared him for what happened next. Lysera's eyes scanned the room and then, directly at him. "I want him as my husband." The words echoed through the hall, crystalline and unyielding, bouncing off the obsidian walls. Gasps rippled through the court. Derek froze, his mouth open. "Excuse me," he stammered, bowing again reflexively. Didn't. Lysera's crimson eyes didn't waver. "I choose. I desire. This human." She pointed a slender finger at him, the gesture simultaneously delicate and commanding. "No debate. No dissent. I want him." The court murmured. Some attendants whispered about honor, lineage, and ancient Valkyrie traditions. Others glanced at Derek, astonishment painted across their pale faces. Derek's knees nearly buckled. I'm a diplomat. Not a suitor." She tilted her head, a faint smile on her lips that sent shivers down his spine. "You misunderstand. I do not ask. I decree. You are mine to court, to protect, or to defy, but the choice will cost you greatly if you resist." The courtship begins. The days that followed were unlike anything Derek had anticipated. Lysera did not leave his side, yet she did not speak to him in ordinary conversation. Instead, she observed him, testing his responses, his patience, his courage. The first trial was survival. The palace grounds were an elaborate labyrinth filled with traps and training challenges designed for centuries-old Valkyrie warriors. Derek, human though he was, had to navigate the obstacles, energy barriers, gravity-shifting chambers, and predatory constructs that mimicked the hunting skills of the Valkyrie. Lysera watched silently from a hovering platform. Each time Derek stumbled or misjudged a leap, her eyes flashed crimson, not with anger, but with amusement. "You have spirit," she finally said, her voice a soft whisper that resonated directly in his mind. "Most humans would have fled. Most humans would have broken." Derek gulped. I'm just trying not to die." "Good. Survival is essential." Over time, Derek discovered that their interactions were governed by a strange combination of courtship and competition. Lysera would test him intellectually, placing him in complex puzzle chambers where human logic had to contend with alien mathematics and quantum probability. She would test his morality, presenting him with scenarios where decisions could mean life or death for others. And yet, in every trial, Derek noticed subtle approvals in her gaze, the slight nod, the way her wings flickered softly, the rare smile that curved her lips. He realized that she was not only evaluating him, she was interested in him, in his ingenuity, his courage, and his resilience. Middle continued, the bond deepens. One evening, after successfully navigating a particularly deadly energy maze, Derek collapsed onto the balcony overlooking the city of Virelia 9. The crimson light of the twin moons reflected across his sweat-soaked face. Lysera descended gracefully beside him. "You are remarkable," she said softly. "Most humans would not survive a single cycle. You endure, you adapt, and you intrigue me." I'm just trying to do my job," Derek said, wiping his brow. "No," she whispered, her eyes meeting his. "You are more. You are unpredictable, resourceful, alive in ways few of my people ever are. It is intoxicating." Derek swallowed, a strange warmth rising in his chest. "Intoxicating?" Her wings fluttered softly, sending currents of air around him. "Yes. I am drawn to you. And yet, caution is necessary. Our worlds are different. Our lifespans are incomparable. And yet, desire is desire." He realized then that this was no longer a trial of skill or courage. It was something far more personal, a connection that transcended species, culture, and expectation. Over the following cycles, their bond strengthened. Derek learned to anticipate her moods, her subtle cues, and her unspoken expectations. Lysera, in turn, began to reveal aspects of herself that no human had ever witnessed: fleeting vulnerability, curiosity, and an intense desire for companionship beyond mere obedience. Middle continued, trust and vulnerability. One night, the palace was threatened by an external faction seeking to overthrow Valkyrie rule. Alien forces breached the outer defenses, and Derek found himself fighting alongside the princess, using both human ingenuity and strategies adapted from Valkyrie combat techniques he had learned under her watchful guidance. During the skirmish, Derek saved Lysera from an ambush, deflecting an energy blade with a makeshift shield of metal debris. She froze for a moment, crimson eyes wide, before her wings spread fully in acknowledgement and admiration. "You saved me," she whispered in his mind. "Few would dare. Fewer would succeed. You are extraordinary." "I couldn't let anything happen to you," Derek replied, feeling a rush of adrenaline and something more: pride, connection, and fear intermingled. The bond solidified that night. They survived the assault together, and when the city calmed, Lysera brought him to the inner sanctum of the royal palace. "You are trusted," she said softly. "And yet, more than that, you are desired. I choose you not by whim, but by understanding, by recognition." Derek's heart raced. "I choose to be with you too. Even if it's dangerous, even if it's impossible." Her eyes softened, crimson melting into violet. "Then, it is no longer impossible." Ending, recognition and commitment. In the following days, Derek and Lysera's partnership became both public and symbolic. The court watched as the human envoy moved with confidence, anticipating the princess's cues, matching her intellect, and earning her approval in ways that no other human could.